find them. Guys, you gotta help me, guys. Guys, hello? Guys, where are you? Hello?
Dory!
Ah! Where did you go?
You were the one to go.
I remembered them. Wait, what did you remember? I remembered them. They don't know where I am. Let's go. We have
Dory,
to go.
no, this is crazy. Where exactly are you trying to go?
To the gym of the Baltic.
They're out there somewhere, so it's time to go help Dory in finding your files. So in this class, you'll be saving and using a lot of files, and therefore it's important to not end up like Dory and lose them. Now I'm assuming none of you suffer from short-term memory loss, so here are the 2 reasons why I see students lose their files the most. The first reason is that students are just plain unorganized and their files are a mess, like this desktop. Yikes. The second reason is that we tend to accidentally download multiple copies of the same file, save it to the wrong spot, and with the wrong name. So students are unsure which file they should actually be editing and which file they should actually turn in. So we're going to avoid those 2 things at all costs. In this video, you'll explore the File Explorer, learn the different types of files, set up your folders in an organized structure, and practice saving all the different types of files you may incur in this class.
Come aboard, explorers! All knowledge exploring is oh so lyrical when you think thoughts that are empirical.
Dad, you can go now.
Well, hello! Who is this?
I'm Nemo.
Well, Nemo, all new explorers must answer a science question.
Okay.
You live in what kind of home? Okay, don't hurt yourself. Welcome aboard, explorer!
Okay, explorers, time to explore the File Explorer. The File Explorer shows how our computer acts like a giant old school filing cabinet. It's going to give us a visual representation of how our files are organized on our computer. You will be using the File Explorer anytime you want to open, save, or find any of your files to turn them in on Schoology. So it's super important that you get to know it. And there are 3 different ways to open the File Explorer. The first can be by clicking the Start button. Now the Start button for Windows 10 looks like the little window in the bottom left-hand corner. If you click that, you can choose File Explorer, and this will open up the File Explorer. The second way we can open that is a shortcut key by pressing the Windows button on your keyboard and then E for Explorer. And that again will open up your File Explorer. The last way is down on the bottom taskbar, you're going to see this folder. That is a shortcut to our File Explorer. So there are those 3 options to open up your File Explorer. Once in your File Explorer, there is a setting you need to change to make your exploring a little easier. The first thing we want to do to change these is go up to the View tab up here, and I want you to see the navigation pane. So hover over that button and make sure that navigation pane is checked. That opens our File Explorer over here on the left, and it makes it easier for you to drag and drop files if you would like to move them. I also want you to note under the View Option tab at the top is that there are different ways that you can view the icons in your folder. Now, as I hover over, these change my view options so I can kind of see what they're like, but it won't actually keep it that way unless I click it. So if I wanted large icons, I would have to click large icons. If I didn't like that, I would go back to view and I would switch to tiles. To get back to the main File Explorer screen, simply click this top button that says This PC, and that'll bring you back to the main File Explorer. Another way that you can get there, let's say I'm in my Downloads folder, is this address bar right here at the top always shows me where I'm at, and each of these buttons is clickable. So if I click Downloads, it brings me to Downloads. If I click this PC, it's going to bring me back to the top. So it's always important to view your address bar at the top here to see where you're at in your computer. So again, the File Explorer acts like a giant old school filing cabinet. And there are actually 7 main drawers, and you're going to see them in the navigation pane. So you'll see Desktop, Documents, Downloads, Music, pictures, and videos, those top 6 folders, act like individual big drawers on a filing cabinet, and then the local disk C would be our 7th main drawer under devices and drivers. Now you might see a couple more devices and drivers depending on what's going on with your computer, but not all computers are going to have a DVD rewrite drive. Not all computers are going to have a flash drive. So that's why we only consider the local disk C one of those top 7 main drawers over here. Now each of those drawers is going to be full of different folders that are then full of different files. So if I open the documents drawer, I'm going to see I have different folders. I have some regular just files, and in my folders I have either more folders or more files. And again, I can click back over here, or I can use these arrows on my navigation pane to expand and click back up through my navigation pane. Now, most people will save all of their files into the Documents folder. We, however, are not going to use the Documents folder in this class. This is because the Documents folder is a local folder. That means that you can only access this Documents folder on the specific computer you're sitting at in that specific Lab 114. Now, while Lab 114 is pretty dang sweet, and while you might just love whatever spot you're at, I'm gonna say that there's a pretty good chance you might want to switch spots sometime throughout the year, or you might want to be able to access your files from a different computer. Therefore, we're going to use your Microsoft OneDrive account, which will be accessible from any computer with internet, not just at school, and also accessible on your iPad. So the first thing we need to do is sync your OneDrive account to the computer. To do this, click on the OneDrive folder in your navigation pane. Now, if you don't see your OneDrive folder in your navigation pane, go down to the lower right-hand corner of your taskbar and click this little up arrow that says Show Hidden Icons. Your OneDrive account should look like these 2 clouds. Go ahead and choose the clouds. Your sign-in information is as follows. Your email address is your first name, last name, at tritonk12.onmicrosoft.com. Then click Sign In, and you'll be prompted to enter your password. The default password is Triton with a capital T followed by the number of the current school year. So for example, Triton 18 would be for the 2018 school year. Then click Sign In. If you can't get your password to work, please talk to Goose to reset it. Once it signs in, it's going to tell you that your OneDrive folder is actually called OneDrive Triton. Simply click Next, and it will say which files it wants to sync. Right now, I don't have anything in my OneDrive, so it doesn't have anything to sync. As we move on in the semester, you're going to have lots of files in your OneDrive. Make sure that they're all checked to sync to whichever computer or iPad you're using, and click Next. Once you see this screen that says your OneDrive is ready for you, you can exit out of that box and your OneDrive folder will pop up. If you've synced your OneDrive folder correctly, you should see OneDrive Triton show up in your navigation pane on the left. Now that we've synced our OneDrive folder, we need to set up a file organization system so we can easily figure out where to save, open, and turn in our files from. We are going to start by creating a folder inside our OneDrive folder for our video production class. That is going to hold separate folders for each unit. Those unit folders will then be where you save any files for that specific unit. You can create a new folder a couple different ways. First, you can click the new folder icon, or as you can see, the shortcut key for a new folder is Control-Shift-N. Finally, if you wouldn't feel like doing that, right-click and choose New Folder. Make sure that you name your folder Video Production. Hit Enter to save your folder's name. Next, double-click into your Video Production folder. And this is where we are going to make folders for every single unit. I'm going to use the New Folder button and make a folder for Unit 1. Remember, you can always check your paths for your file and folder organization on this top address bar. If I double-clicked into Unit 1, I would see that I had created Unit 1 inside Video Production inside my OneDrive folder. This can also be shown on my navigation pane on the left. If I use the arrow to expand my OneDrive folder, I'll see that I have Video Production again expanded to hold Unit 1. And now we're going to take a look at the different types of files we might be using and practice saving those files to our OneDrive Triton folder, whichever class we're in, and the proper unit. The first type of file we're going to use is an image file, and there are a couple different image file types that you will see if you take this class or another class with me. And those are the JPEG, the GIF or the GIF, and the PNG. So the JPEG, the GIF, and the PNG are all image files that can be used on any computer. The big difference between the three is that the GIF file can be an animated picture and the PNG file allows for transparency. But otherwise, all three image file types are viewable and editable on any computer. So now we're going to practice downloading and saving a couple image files to the correct spot. If you head over to the folder and file maintenance assignment on Schoology and scroll down to the bottom, you'll see that I've given you some practice files to use. The first one that we're going to practice downloading is this picture of Slothy. Now, anytime a picture is given to you in Schoology in this format, you need to download it by clicking that picture so it shows up bigger, and then you're going to click the link that says download image. You'll notice that once it's downloaded, it shows up at the bottom of your computer. Now, if I choose this arrow right next to the picture and I choose show in folder, that will bring up my file explorer, and right now I'll see that my Slothy is hanging out in my downloads folder. That is not where I want Slothy to go.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Remember, we want everything to be on our OneDrive folder in the proper class, in the proper unit. So I'm going to take Slothy and make sure that I move him into my first unit in my video production folder on my OneDrive account. It's as simple as making sure that all of my folders are expanded, and then clicking and dragging Slothy over Unit 1 until I see the icon that says Move to Unit 1. When I let go, I should see that Slothy has disappeared from my Downloads folder, and if I check in Unit 1, Slothy's hanging out in my correct unit in Video Production on my OneDrive folder. Now you're going to go out to Google and find a picture that you think is going to make me laugh. We're going to practice downloading and saving this picture directly to your OneDrive folder under Video Production and Unit 1. So you can use Google to find a school appropriate picture that's going to make me laugh. And I have mine right here. And just a couple tips about downloading and saving pictures from Google. The first is when you actually click the picture, it shows up as a thumbnail, not the full-size picture. In order to see the full-size picture, you're going to want to click this View Image button. That will open your image in a new tab, and notice this will almost always be bigger than that thumbnail. When you have the image open in a new tab, now you are ready to save it. And you do that by just right-clicking and choosing, guess what? Save Image As. We do not want to copy, we want to save image as. When we choose Save As, we get to choose where we want to save it. And remember, anytime we're trying to download something, it automatically tries to put it in this downloads folder. But we don't like the downloads folder. We want to make sure that we choose to go up to our OneDrive folder, Video Production, and then whatever unit we happen to be in. I'll see that I already had saved Slothy. Now sometimes I won't see my files in this folder because right now it's only viewing JPEG images, and because Slothy is a JPEG, I'm seeing him. But let's say I was trying to download a PNG, I might not see Slothy. If I'm worried about that, I can change this Save As type to drop down and choose All Files, and then I'll begin to see all my pictures. This is also the chance for me to rename my file if I want to rename it. And when that looks good, I can choose Save. Again, it shows me it's downloaded by popping up down here. I can click the arrow, Show in Folder, to bring up my File Explorer, and I'll see that my picture has been saved to my Unit 1 Video Production OneDrive folder. Now I forgot to rename my picture when I saved it, so I need to right click it and choose rename, and you need to name this picture Goose Laughs. And then I just hit enter to save that name. The next type of file that we're gonna take a look at are music and movie files. So the music files are MP3 files, and the most common movie files that we'll see are MP4 or AVI files. First, we're going to practice downloading an MP3 song, since in video production, you'll be downloading different sound effects or songs to add to your movies. So to practice this, you get to choose any appropriate song that you'd like to download. And all you need to do is find that song on YouTube. So here's my song on YouTube. And then I'm going to go up to the address bar and I'm going to copy this link. So I can either right click and do copy, or I can do Control C. The website we're going to use to download songs from YouTube is this website right here called Listen to YouTube. So I just need to open this website, and then I am simply going to paste the YouTube URL of my song. So I'm just going to right click and do paste, or you can do Control V and click go. And it's going to check your file and then ask you to click here to get your download link. So you'll click there, and finally it's going to give you the blue download MP3 link. Once you click that link, you'll notice that your song will start downloading where we've seen our other downloads. So then I can simply click my up arrow, show in folder, and again, it's dropped me in the dreaded downloads folder. So I'm just simply going to take my Finding Nemo song and I'm going to drag it into Unit 1 under video production. I can again double check that if I go into my Unit 1 and see Finding Nemo is there. And now we're going to practice downloading MP4 or movie files. So go out and find an appropriate YouTube clip. And it works the same way as when we downloaded our MP3 audio files. We find our clip or video that we want to download, go up and copy our link or URL. And then the website we're going to use this time is actually called KeepVid. So we open KeepVid, and right at the top is where we'll click to paste our link, and then we'll click download. And it will give us a bunch of different versions that we can download. We always want to choose this MP4 version, but instead of just clicking, this time we're going to hover our mouse over MP4, and we're going to do what we did when we saved our pictures from Google. We're going to right click and choose Save Link As. And now we can right away decide that we're going to go to OneDrive, Video Production, Unit 1. And if we need to name it something different, we can. And we also do want to double check that we get our MP4 movie version down here. And if that's good, we click save, and it will go down again in the bottom left hand corner to show that it is downloading. And I can show in folder if I want to double check that I am indeed in Unit 1 under video production and my OneDrive. This is also the place where if you hover over each of your items, you can see that it will tell you the item type. So it does say MP4, so I know I've got a movie. If I hover over this, it says MP3, so I know I've got a song. Remember, because we're in our OneDrive, we can access these files on any computer with an internet connection. And now we finished learning all about the File Explorer, the different file types, how to set up your folders and subfolders, and practice saving a bunch of different file types to the correct places with the correct names. Now we only have 3 things left to do. The first thing is to make sure that our Unit 1 folder is showing in large icons view, and then we're going to screenshot that entire folder and turn that into Schoology, and that way I know that you can organize all of your files. So go ahead, open your File Explorer and make sure you navigate to OneDrive, Video Production, Unit 1. And then under the View options, you should be on large icons. This way I can see your picture along with the name. Finally, we're going to use the snipping tool to take a screenshot of our folder. So we're going to go down to the Start menu. We're going to type in Snipping Tool, and as you start typing, it should pop up. It will open up down here on the right Snipping tool takes a picture of your screen. So go ahead and choose New. Anywhere the crosshair is where your picture will start. So I'm going to start in the upper left-hand corner of my File Explorer and click and drag just so I can see the files as well as my address bar. If your snip looks similar to this, go ahead and save your snip. Make sure you're saving it to the correct location. Make sure you name it file.org. Once you've saved your snip, you can exit out. And now you're ready to submit your file.org snip to Schoology. To submit any files to Schoology, always make sure you're on the correct assignment and then choose the Submit Assignment button on the right side of the screen. This will bring up an option for you to choose how to submit your assignment. Anytime you have a file to upload, make sure you use the Upload tab. Do note that you also have a Create tab where you could write your own submission, including inserting links or other content, or you could use the Resources tab and the Apps version to access your OneDrive or even your Google Drive. For us, we're always going to stick with the Upload tab, and then we have a couple different settings. First, we want to choose this File button and go out and find the file we want to submit. We want to submit from our OneDrive Video Production, Unit 1, and we want to submit our file.org screenshot. So we'll select that and choose Open. As long as it shows our file here, we can add any additional comments we like. Simply choose Submit. I can double check that I've submitted the correct assignment on the right as long as it says Assignment Submitted. I can even click the assignment submitted and make sure that I've submitted the correct file. If this is good, then you are done.
The swirling vortex of terror?
That's it, dude!
Of course it is!
Okay, first, find your exit buddy. Do you have your exit buddy?
Yes!
Okay, Squirt here will now give you a rundown on proper exiting technique.
Good afternoon. We're gonna have a great jump today. Okay, grab the hard surface as you hit the wall. There's a screaming bottom dirt, so watch out. Remember, rip it, roll it, and touch it.
It's like he's trying to speak to me, I know it! You know, you're really cute, but I don't know what you're saying! Say the first thing again!
Okay, Jellyman, go, 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 go!
Whoa!